Feature Friday.
The freshest.
Now that we're looking back at some of the greatest singers that have come out of the Philippines.
You guys have been sending some gems.
Yes, like these videos, no one knows they exist unless you watch them either live in the moment or you were there in the crowd.
Yeah.
And this is Sarah Geronimo, 17 years old, and she sounds so different. It was quite surprising to see this.
And this is one actually based on the lovely message that you sent through on the DMs, that this is one of her most memorable performances, even
Ever.
Yeah, even now. So these are like, yeah.
From ABS on the archives.
Literally, this is the greatest love. Go Sarita.
Sarita.
Because she estaba chiquita.
Geronimo.
No, I can see that. What a dress. And it's like 180p.
I believe the children are future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. Show them all the beauty they possess inside.
Nice.
Give them a sense of pride to make it easier. Let the children select.
Nice, man.
Remind us how we used to be. Everybody's searching for a hero. People need someone.
Bro, I kid you not. You look at any old school video from the Philippines, if the woman's wearing a yellow dress, iconic. You're gonna be blown away, bro. Regine Velasquez in the yellow dress is one of my favorite performances I've ever seen. I remember it with the yellow dress. Then there is, I think it's Sharon Cuneta has one with a yellow dress.
Yes.
Certified hood classic. You know, it's so weird.
We've seen Pilita Corrales like
On a
super...
yellow dress. Fantastic. Continue,
Yes,
please.
no, this is golden, but
It's
yes.
so funny. That formula worked.
What a shot, though, right? Look at that. What a shot.
I mean, I don't know if you can tell much. It's like 2 pixels per second.
Still, though, but it doesn't.
The audio's
her
quite
voice.
good. That's why we chose it. Though.
Yeah, but isn't her voice like super?
Well, she was definitely showcasing a different texture, perhaps a different side to her. Yeah, to her capabilities there. Oh, maybe I don't know.
I don't know what was happening prior to this performance. What led her to this performance? But I do know that there is a definite experimentation with the low range of her singing quality, and it's actually really rich.
Just more chesty.
Yeah, it's very grounded, and there's more of a tilt down towards the chest instead of higher up where you usually hear her singing now.
Yeah, maybe she just sort of became more comfortable in a specific way of singing. Maybe, I don't know, she had a cold 3 days ago. 3 days prior to that. Maybe she didn't. Maybe she was just...
Maybe this is just her personal approach to this
the
particular song.
Yeah. Many things
Yeah,
at play.
but it's nice. There's a whole orchestra live. Live.
What a show. Yeah, so... So much there.
Even in the choice towards the bigger belt, there was so much connection still down to the chest. There was so much grounding and a natural resonance that I, like, if I were listening to this video, not seeing anything that was happening in the moment, I don't think I would be able to recognize Sarah Geronimo. Yeah. Because it's such a new... to me, at least to me. Obviously, this is
we're
our
only
beginning,
biased
right?
to the things that we've been exposed to. I mean, essentially, you could argue that, you know, now she's a better singer or
It's not a thing about whether she was better then or now. It's just that there's definite shift in techniques. This is more of like a theatrical approach.
yeah, there's so much there to unpack.
Yeah. This is definitely more of a more theatrical, music theater approach to the singing of the song. Also, this song is very theatrical, like especially with an orchestra arrangement. There's no way you can escape the natural drama.
I was gonna say that maybe it was just simply a conscious choice, because you do have sort of the string arrangement, right, which everything then becomes way more emphasized in those type of frequencies or those type of tonalities. So perhaps on here, what you want to try and create is much more depth and resonance rather than create much or showcase, you know, belting or reach power
or likability. You're here really to emphasize the emotional journey, because it's such an emotionally packed song. The lyrics bring so much to the table, so there is a definite acting through song choice here, where you're tilting your larynx further down in the positioning of your larynx where you might sit naturally, to find more of that resonance, more of that warmth, more of that welcoming sound naturally.
Also, I wonder what stage of her career this was.
Yes.
Well, I mean, essentially would be at the earlier.
So young though.
But maybe people had already seen her perform plenty of times.
I would think so.
Maybe this was one of those performances where you're trying to showcase something differently, and that was the objective. People have already seen you belt and sing.
Or they have already seen the sweet and innocent, and now let's give them something more to it.
And that's probably why it became so iconic. It's like, wow, we saw a new side of Sarah.
Maybe this is the maturity break in the industry, right?
17
so, like,
as well, right? So
that's right. It's a great choice of song as well.
Yeah, there.
Fantastic, gosh, not a shadow of a doubt. Like the kinesthetic.
And no ego here, because
nothing.
There's no ego here at play, and the sense of that could have been played differently.
Absolutely.
That was the perfect time to showcase, you know, larynx flexibility, reach, and it is, you know, I guess you are in the land of where the industry rewarded a lot in those type of years the power vocalists, you know, and that's sort of what the competition was as well. So that's a bloody mature ass choice. Go on.
And not only just the choice, but obviously the understanding of the choice made.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you can make the choices in the moment, and then you have to, as the song progresses, you're settling into that choice. But in this particular case, you're seeing a very grounded, in all senses of the word, a performer.
Sarah.
So yeah, somebody who's really aware of everything that's happening. Nothing's out of her control.
That's why it's so hard to sell to someone. It's like when you get advice, because you know she's part of the voice and all that stuff. When you get advice from like a woman like this, an artist of that, it's like, dude, you're getting that. You're getting other moments. You're getting like a whole compilation of moments, compilation of moments. And
so much experience in one
yeah,
person.
it's so crazy. That's so hard to understand. But go on.
Totally.
It's an agglomeration.
Yeah. There's so much emotion there.
Yeah.
Yeah. What a great choice to add vibrato to that. And you see how well engaged engaged cheese. Look at
everything.
this muscles.
Yeah, look at those trapezius.
Look at this. Gosh, she is
Good shape.
absolutely in absolute control of that body.
Good shape.
It's quite interesting though because she's leaning forward quite a bit.
Yeah.
Quite a bit, a little bit too much.
Right.
From the technical perspective. But in complete honesty, it probably might have been something to do with the high heels. Because that type of position in which you are is then set, your body weight shifts in with a certain type of shoes. So they force you to do things that were unnatural to you before.
And there's something that just happens on the night.
That's right. It's happening in the moment. This is happening live.
Yeah.
Also, how unreal is that?
Crazy, mate.
Live. Yeah. Solid. Breathe. This is hard.
Oh, nice riff in the guitar. Oh, continue.
Bravo, Sarah. Yes.
Damn.
I walk off. Bro, I would
It
be
feels
out
like,
of
what is
breath.
this for? Like a competition, or like a Miss Universe
I
thing?
don't really know what this is for.
Because it was just Sarah goes sings and then see you later,
How'd
mate.
you go? Listen, can we just have a moment? Because this is also the songs that aren't at the top of your range
Hard.
tend to be harder than the ones where you're constantly belting. Because the control that it requires to be down and grounded and full and completely still and still give you some type of like vocal dynamics, it is one of the hardest things. And these songs actually work like marathons. You have to be very energy efficient throughout the whole of the song. And this piece is long.
Yeah,
okay?
it's 4 minutes and 50, man.
Hard. And so you got to understand that whatever you're given has to be completely moduled. Like, it has to be to a certain extent. You cannot exceed the required needs.
I think the best example, perhaps for someone who may not sing, is if you've ever run 400 meters on track. That's what it's like. So it's one lap across the circle.
Okay.
The track is just one lap.
Okay, but you gotta...
But it's like a sprint, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the best would be like an 800 meter run, which is 2 laps.
Okay.
I think if I'm not mistaken, I think that's what it is. But it's basically that. It's like you're running through the track once, and you notice that you can't just sprint it the whole way. No one has that type of stamina. Mm-hmm. But you can keep up a really high pace. Mm-hmm. Same here. It's not like a 100 meter sprint, but you just jam and go. Or like even 200 meters, where it's basically the same, just a bit longer. It's much more of a muscular endurance kind of exercise.
Yeah.
Hard to try and translate it. Maybe I don't have the best analogy. Who knows? Ignore that. But yeah, it is quite vocally demanding, but in a much more different sense. I mean, I remember when you were sort of learning some of the songs that perhaps weren't in your natural range, and we were trying to perhaps showcase something different, and those were actually surprisingly some of the most difficult ones.
Yeah, indeed, they become one of the most challenging tracks because they're the natural needs of that song. They're so out of your comfort zone that it might actually push you to feel really unnatural, really uneasy. Yeah.
Well, there you have it. That's Sarah Geronimo at 17 years old. If you've never seen that, well, now you have. And if you had seen it in the moment, what did you think about it? And apart from that, let us know what else we should check out next. Goodbye.